This podcast has been brought to you by SeekersGuidance, the global Islamic seminary. Help us spread the light of prophetic guidance to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Make a small donation at SeekersGuidance.org/donate. For as little as $10 a month, you can help people find life-changing guidance.
Someone asked a question that they felt very embarrassed by, and there's no reason to be embarrassed. They said, I feel very disconnected from the Qur'an, and I don't understand why I'm expected to recite it in Arabic. So what do you advise? So the Qur'an, of course, is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inimitable, preserved, dazzling in its beauty, incomparable in its guidance. So we should see how we can connect to it. The first thing to do is to take the first step. Just open the Qur'an. And if you find it difficult just to recite the Qur'an devotionally, one of the advices we've heard from our teachers like Imam Zayd Shakir is begin by reading the translation. Read and reflect on the opening chapter, the Fatiha. Read the short verses of the Qur'an in the final 30th of the Qur'an. Read those shorter chapters. Read Surah Al-Mulk, right? Which is surah number 67 or 68? Surah number 67. Read Surah Ar-Rahman. Read Surah Yasin. These surahs that are accessible entry points into the guidance of the Qur'an. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to recite Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. So begin by these chapters that are accessible entry points and read them in translation. Find a good translation. We recommend, for example, Dr. Mustafa Khattab's translation, and there's other good translations available, and read the translation. Secondly, listen to a beautiful recitation. Listen to a beautiful recitation, and you'll feel something of the oral beauty of the Qur'an. Number 3, read at least a little Qur'an yourself each day. However you read it, with the consciousness that when I read the Qur'an, it is Allah who's addressing me. That's the third thing. The fourth thing you can do is learn about the meanings of the Qur'an. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have a number of courses on Seekers on tafsir, on the explanation of the Qur'an. For example, we have several explanations of Surah Al-Fatiha, one by Shaykh Yahya Rodis, and over several classes. I have a class on explanation of the Fatiha and the 10 short surahs. We have other such classes as well. These help us appreciate the beauty of the Qur'an and strive to set a basic commitment to recite something of the Qur'an each day, even if it be a little bit, and cultivate that relationship through these steps that we've mentioned. Read the Qur'an in translation. Begin with the accessible surahs, the Fatiha, the 30th part of the Qur'an, the 30th juz of the Qur'an, Surah Al-Mulk, Surah Ar-Rahman, Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Surah Yasin, Surah Al-Kahf. These are surahs that are accessible entry points, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam particularly recommended and encouraged them. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Dua is the essence of devotion, said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another narration said, dua is devotion. So anything you want to attain in your religion or in your life, just ask Allah for it. If you've been given a big responsibility that you don't know how to handle, what do you do? Sometimes we flounder. What do? I don't know what to do. Raise your hands. Say, oh Allah, I have been entrusted with this responsibility. Assist me in fulfilling it. And Allah will open doors. You just have to have the courage to walk to the door and open it. Because Allah has promised. Ud'uni astajib lakum. Call upon me, I will answer you. That applies to everybody. It doesn't say, call upon me, I'll answer you, except if your name is Umar. Right? There's no such exception. So, you want to strengthen your relationship with the Qur'an? Raise your hand, say, oh, in your own words, oh Allah, I ask you that you enable me to strengthen my relationship with the Qur'an. Oh Allah, I ask you that you grant me deeper love for the Qur'an. I ask you that you enable me to understand its meanings and to reflect on it and to live by it and be transformed by it. And make dua. And then take the steps towards what you seek. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitate that for you.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by Seekers Guidance, the Global Islamic Seminary. Visit SeekersGuidance.org to access reliable Islamic knowledge taught by qualified teachers. We offer a wide range of courses, podcasts, articles, and a world-class answer service. Support us in spreading free, reliable Islamic knowledge to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Visit SeekersGuidance.org/donate and make a small monthly commitment today. Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever guides someone to goodness will have a similar reward." So don't forget to share this podcast and spread prophetic guidance.